Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware at 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York. It's Southwest Suffolk County on Long Island. They are Long Island's largest supplier of rock salt. And if you can't find it where you are, even if you're not on Long Island, you can head over to Omni and put in your order. They have all the great snow and ice melt products, mag ice pellets and flakes and Pellido, and of course, in case you need a new snowblower or two or other supplies, they've got it all. 631-756-1125 for the best prices anywhere. And the website is omnitruevalue.com. So we are having a pretty decent day here as we take a look at the satellite view. Clouds with this system from yesterday left a few inches in most inland spots in northern New Jersey, north and points north and northeast. Well, that's pulling away, and you can see the curl that's out in the Atlantic. That is the storm that is developing south of Nova Scotia. So a little bit of drier air is trying to come down from the north. And that's going to pretty much control our weather through Wednesday. Meanwhile, take a look out in the west. This big swirl back into Nevada and Utah. That is a strong upper trough that is moving eastward. That's going to produce a major storm in the Rockies and Plains, particularly in the Plain states where we have numerous winter storm warnings up now. Blizzard warnings are up for western South Dakota, western Nebraska, northeastern Colorado. A lot of winter storm warnings surrounding that. And then further west in the Rockies, up and down, and in the Wasatch, we've got winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories all posted from this very large storm that's had quite the impact so far in the west, bringing a lot of rain and snow, and now, excuse me, pushing eastward. Meanwhile, we've got no watches or warnings that are up in the east. And the radars are quiet now. No precipitation to worry about anywhere in the eastern half of the U.S., but you could see the areas of snow up in the Rockies and also down in Southern California. We're seeing snow in the mountains inland and rain right along the coast all the way down into San Diego. So that whole system is going to be the next player. And as far as precipitation is concerned for the next 7 days, this is really our only system that we're going to be dealing with. So we have precipitation amounts of up to an inch and a half or more from New England down to through the southeast, and even higher amounts in the Gulf states where we are expecting a severe weather outbreak. And of course, up in the northern plains, you can see the big precip amounts here in the Dakotas of an inch and a half of liquid or more, and the vast majority of that is going to be in the form of snow. Let's just look quickly at SPC, the Storm Prediction Center. They've got a slight risk of severe weather today from western Kansas down into north central Texas, and that comes with a 5% tornado risk. Tomorrow, this is the period from Tuesday morning into Wednesday morning, we have a slight to enhanced risk in the central Gulf back into Texas and as far east as the Alabama-Georgia border. You've got this large area of risk, and that actually comes with a 15% tornado risk. So this storm is also going to produce a rather large, severe weather outbreak before it's all said and done. So what we have going on as far as the east is concerned, because there's been a lot of talk with regards to how this storm is going to play out in the east, because we still have this blocking situation. You see this big wrapped up upper low that comes into California and moves east into Kansas and then starts to lift northward. The issue here, because of the block, is that it can't really go northeast up into Canada. It has to go more to the east. So it'll be a question of whether this system here weakens enough so that when it tries to redevelop in the east, it would take more of a coastal track rather than an inland track. The model runs of the last 2 days have really held on to the strength of this upper low, meaning that the primary low that we're going to see out of this is going to wind up being stronger, and that means a warmer solution overall. So if we take a look at how the GFS has this playing out, So it will just back it up here. So here we are right now with the low in Colorado, goes into Kansas. You see the big snows breaking out in the Dakotas, the severe weather moving through the southern states. Meanwhile, here in the east, it's nice and dry for Tuesday. Should be nice and dry into Wednesday with that storm sitting south of Nova Scotia. It's kind of holding that dry air in. And then you've got this giant arm that swings eastward into that block and into some cold air. This is Thursday morning. That area of pink, that's all freezing rain and some sleet from West Virginia and northwestern Virginia into central Pennsylvania. Then the secondary low forms, but you see that primary low up in Wisconsin still holding on. So that argues that for the idea that the coast will see mostly rain and that you'll wind up getting snows in interior Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and then on up into interior New England until the low pulls away sometime on later on Friday night, and then we see improving weather conditions and colder weather conditions coming into the weekend. And the longer range, by the way, has cold highs coming down with weather systems coming from west to east ahead of that. So the pattern's going to stay relatively active, and it is going to turn colder over time. So this storm is an important one in terms of what it's going to do to the overall pattern. Weather in 5 is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, 631-756-1125 for the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com is the website. The Joe and Joe Weather Show is coming up tonight at 7:30 Eastern Time. 8:30 Eastern Time tonight. We're at 8:30 Eastern Time. So we're going to leave you today. This is the WPC's probabilities for snow of at least 2 to 3 inches. And in the long range for Thursday into Friday, you can already see the blue and the light blue. That's anywhere between 50 and 90% probability across central Pennsylvania into southern New York. Also in northeast PA, the Catskills and points northward, we have a 50 to 70% chance with a small area of 70 to 90. The 10 to 30 runs down almost to the coast, just north and west of New York City, just north and west of Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington. So we'll be watching to see how this plays. If the primary winds up being a little weaker, it could be a colder solution. Right now, it does look like the primary low wants to be stronger, in which case it will not be a colder solution. It will be a warmer solution. So bear that in mind as you see my forecast and other forecasts that are out there. We'll see you tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time.